Hello and let's get on with it. Buildings in Conan Exiles can crumble under the influence of time if they are not visited by their owner often enough. This is represented in a game by the Decay Timer. Whenever you place a building, it will have a timer, after which it will disappear. The more buildings you connect with one another, the higher the timer will get. Now they do have to be connected most of the time, or they will not combine the timers like this. The exception to that rule is a chest, and a vault, because it only needs to be like close enough, and it will both take the timer out of the structures that are close to it and add its own timer to them as well. Also within the same tier, different building types have different timers, so as you've already noticed, the foundation roughly gives about an hour and a half, but when you place wall, it gives a lot more. Different tiers also have different timers. Obviously, the higher the tier, the longer the timer will get. So, if you place a T2 foundation, the timer is already significant. Then you place more, and it really gets good. This is already more than a day, and you only need to visit it for the timer to reset. Tech 3 foundations are the best for that, obviously. As you can see. Now, the power of time is not the only force that can destroy a building. I have a setup here, and there are a number of ways that you can destroy a building. Well, one of them is that you can attack it. Now, bear in mind, at the current state of the game, it doesn't matter if you're hitting the building with your fist or like a dragon hammer with the damage upgraded. It's all gonna do 1 damage, so destroying the buildings with your fists and weapons is possible, but it will take a lot of time and it's not really fun to go. Other ways of destroying buildings are, for example, orbs. Now, how would you want to use it? You can just take a dragon fire orb and throw it. It will deal damage as it explodes, and it will also deal some damage for 30 seconds as it burns out. Let's wait for that and see. A single orb will do about 2,500 damage combined. A bit less than that, but you can make it longer by using the grease orbs, which will fuel it to burn and deal more damage. It will still burn for 30 seconds, but you can combine them too. Now, if you just throw a single grease orb and then throw the demon fire orb on it, it will do exactly the same damage as if you just thrown the demon fire orb. But you can throw as much as 12 grease orbs. And damage will be combined. They all burn for 30 seconds, half a minute, which is pretty important because And that's the 12th one. Now let's fire them up with a demon fire orb. And now they start doing damage. And a lot damage. As you can see, it's already down to 5,000. Now these will burn for 30 seconds. You can reset the timer by throwing additional grease orbs to the fire. Keep in mind that throwing additional orbs, it will reset the timer, and they will keep doing the damage of 12 combined orbs. But you cannot increase the damage by throwing additional orbs into the fire. So say you start the fire with a single orb, and then you will start throwing more orbs into it. It will just reset the timer with the initial number of orbs that were used. So let's see how much damage does that do. When it burns out, again it burns for about 30 seconds, well not about, exactly 30 seconds, so you can really time throwing new orbs in to make the most out of them. So yeah, this already did a lot of damage. Well, let's repair it now. And the numbers for that is the single demon fire orb will just do about 2,500 damage, but 12 orbs and the demon fire orb will deal about 15,000, and then every reset will make about 13,500 more if it's timed perfectly. So you might as well count as that you're doing 12,000 per every reset orb. So do the math and see how many orbs you need to destroy various tier buildings. Orbs are not the only way to destroy them, obviously. There's the good old explosives. You place them on the ground, get a fire arrow, shoot it, and it explodes. After explosion, it will also burn for a while, and deal some damage from fire as well. As you can see, it did over 10,000 damage to the foundation. Well, when you place it next to a wall, it will explode, but the fire will only spread downwards. Let's repair these buildings. And try damaging a wall with both orbs and explosives. So let's just throw a demon fire orb at it. And as you can see, the explosion did some damage, but the burning itself, well, you might as well hit it with your fists. So it's not really advisable to try and destroy a vault with orbs. Explosives will deal a bit more damage to it. Let's wait for it to burn. Right, let's stop. And now let's fire an arrow at the vault. And as you can see, the explosive did significantly more damage, but it's still low. Vaults are pretty tough to destroy, so quite safe place to store your valuables. But then there's also the Trebuchet, the ultimate siege machine, right? Let's shoot a boulder at the vault. It did 2 damage. The second one is probably from the bounce over here. So it's pretty safe from the Trebuchet. Let's fire a fire demon orb at it. Well, demon fire barrage. So a vault is pretty safe from the Trebuchet. What about the foundations and buildings? Well, let's build up a wall that it can hit. And let's hit it with another demon fire barrage for the start. And as you can see, there's significant damage done to it. About 12,000. 12,500. Now when you fire a rock, which is significantly cheaper, it will do about half of that damage, but then it bounces off and it damages. Well, damage is ridiculous here, but it does half the damage of Demon Fire Orb, and it's much cheaper than it. So, are these the only ways that you can damage the buildings? Well, there's always the avatar. I'll go and drink. There are the avatars, so let's summon one of them. Actually, one of the most powerful ones. Let's summon the avatar of Set and try to get to that vault. Giant snake. Let's hit the foundations first. Yep. Pretty powerful, right? Let's keep hitting that vault then. It's a bit tricky. Yep, there we go. Let's just see how much damage will this one do to the vault. And as you can see, it has not damaged it all that much. So, if you wanna store your valuables, build a vault. But be warned, try to not building on top of foundations, because as you have seen, that avatar broke them pretty easily. So, if all the foundations will be gone from under the vault, it will crumble. And yeah, so instead of having 600,000, you'll only get as much as the foundations have, which is a bit overwaste. And that'll be it for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.